What's up, guys? Welcome to today's video. Welcome to the channel. If you're new to the channel, today we're going to be talking about beginning real estate videography. We're going to be talking about gear, shot list, editing, finding clients, whatever you need to know to get started in real estate videography. When you first start out in real estate videography, you need the gear to get the job done. So any of the cameras that are on the market today are probably going to be good enough. Anything, as long as you got 1080p at 60 frames a second, this way you can slow that footage down to 30 frames a second in post to get a nice buttery smooth footage, you're going to be fine, at least when you're first starting out. To make sure you have a lens that's wide enough, I would say 14 millimeters, 16 millimeters, in that range, and something that you can get tighter, something like 50, 35, 50, right around there. You know, if you want to get a 16 to 35, a 14 to 24, and then maybe a 50 millimeter lens, you know, one of those wides and a 50. Me personally, I'm a prime guy. I like prime lenses. So I'll have the Laowa 9 millimeter. I put on my A7 IV, which gives me a 14. So I got a 14 millimeter and I'll shoot a 50. Those two lenses right there will cover you for pretty much everything. Just try to get something that's going to give you the most amount of light allowed into the lens, like a 2.8, something right around that, because you're going to need that. Because when you're in these darker environments, darker rooms, you don't really want to be cranking the ISO all the way up to get your exposure correct. You know, you want to be setting your lens on 2.8, but the more light you can let into the lens is better than up in the ISO. So you got your camera, you got your lens. The next piece of equipment you're going to need is a gimbal. This way you can have your footage nice and steady as you walk nice and slow through the house to get those smooth shots. As far as gear goes, guys, I'll leave a link in the description below. This way you guys can see different manufacturers, cameras, lenses, and see which ones you want to go with. You want to shoot an S-Log3, you want the most dynamic range you can get out of your camera, then that's the way to do it. Whether it's S-Log3, whether it's C-Log with a Canon, N-Log with Nikon, that's the way to get the most dynamic range. So you're going to have to be converting S-Log3 footage in your real estate videos, so it can get time consuming if you're doing it by yourself, which I highly recommend you don't do. So LUTs I've been using lately are the Phantom LUTs. Joel has a lot of LUTs out there for Sony cameras, and it makes it so easy converting your S-Log3 footage to a neutral state in your real estate work. The actual LUT I've been using is Phantom LUT's Neutral LUT. And it's a great LUT, puts it in a nice neutral state, takes the guesswork out of converting the log footage by yourself, saves you a heck of a lot of time, especially if you're shooting a lot of videos and you're getting busy. You want to still shoot an S-Log3, you want to still shoot in the log just to get your highest dynamic range possible to make it look as nice as possible, then it's the way to go. You place it on there and you're good. Now, as far as exposing the camera, guys, I still expose it 1.7 stops over. So you want to make sure you're exposing for your interior. So you want to maybe pull away from those windows, focus on a different part of the room that doesn't show the windows, get it to plus 1.7, and then you should be good. Another way of doing it even faster that I recommend is just using a monitor. I love to use the Atomos Ninja 5, pop it on your gimbal, set it up. You can put the LUTs right into the monitor. You see what you're getting right out of camera, and now you have a bright, clear display. And yes, you're gonna be looking at your exposure, looking for your plus 1.7 or 2.0 or however well you want to do it. You can do it any way you want, but at least you'll see it on your monitor and see exactly what you're gonna get instead of looking at an S-Log3 on your camera's monitor. So if you stick to that, you're gonna be pretty good with your noise. You're not gonna have much noise. It's when you are underexposed, as you start bringing it up, any camera is gonna give you noise, so you're gonna get more noise out of it. That's why I highly recommend using a monitor so you can really fine tune what you're getting. You know your camera's native ISO settings. So on a Sony A7 IV, the native ISO settings on that camera is 800 and 3200 ISO. So I would say most of the time I'm at 3200 or even pushing it up to 6,400, sometimes I'll even go up to 12,800. But obviously if you can get away with it at 800, that's where you want to be. A lot of those detail shots, I like to shoot them close to wide open. Generally, I like to stay right around 2.8 for those type of shots, but even that's gonna be hard during the day, so you're gonna want some ND filters to bring it down, and you can keep your ISO at 800 still. So as far as the walkthroughs inside the house, guys, you set your wide angle. Again, I like to use primes, so for me, I'm setting it at infinity right on the lens, f2.8, and that's it. You're doing your walkthrough right through the house. And infinity settings is gonna give you everything in focus, everything's gonna be sharp. As far as shooting strategies go, guys, I like balancing my gimbal as less times as possible on the job. So what I'll do is I'll have it balanced the night before, say for like my 14mm, my 9mm Laowa, and it's all set to go. So as far as going through the house, getting all your shots that you need your wide angle shots through the house, you need your wide angle shots outside. I like to do some detail shots in the house as well as outside. And if you're doing drone photography, drone videography, you need that as well. By the way, if you're shooting aerial photography and videography yourself, please look into getting your Part 107 license if you haven't already. You will need that. You don't want to be working on job sites without it. When you're shooting the videos, be thinking how you're going to be editing these videos. You're walking through the living room, wide angle shots, go through that room, go to the next room, do a couple different angles of every room. Do some where you're pushing straight in, some where maybe you're starting up high and you're coming back down with your wide angle lens. Same thing with detail shots, say in a kitchen. So keep in mind, guys, the main goal here is we're showing a property to potential buyers. The buyers want to see the property, the layout, how all the rooms flow into each other, even the outside, the surrounding areas, you know, with your aerial drone shots, what's surrounding the house? Is it near the water? You know, things like that. You know, another tip I can give you guys is make a shot list. Make a shot list, write it down, put it in your iPhone. This way you always have a list. You know you want to get a push-in shot of all the bedrooms, all the bathrooms, and you'll just go through that list and check it off as you're going through the day of the shoot. When you're just starting out, a lot of people say, I haven't shot anything yet. How do I get my foot into the door? If you're just starting out, or if you've been in photography for a long time, but you're just starting out with real estate videography, go shoot your own home. If you have a friend's house or a family member's house that has a nice house that you want to shoot, ask them to shoot it and tell them that you'll give them the video at the end. They would love that. Another great thing to do, guys, is go rent an Airbnb. The best thing about that is you get to pick the house that you want to shoot. It's the style of the house that you want to show in your sample videos. And also, besides that, you're gonna have that house all day and all night. So you can physically just go and shoot it in sunrise, midday, sunset. You can shoot it at blue hour. After all the lights been gone with just the interior lights on, you can do a lot of stuff. You can get yourself a really good sample, and that's a good way of doing it as well. You know, some of you may be thinking, well, I'm just starting out. How am I gonna find some agents to shoot? I got myself a sample. I shot my house, I shot a friend's house. I got 2 samples. I think they're good. I wanna show it to agents. How do I find agents? Well, guys, there's many different ways you can do it. You can, just call different agents. You can go online, find people who are real estate agents. I guarantee you, some of your friends and family members know real estate agents. They all bought houses. Maybe you bought a house, right? They all bought houses. They know the agents. You can get those agents' phone numbers. You can call them up and say, so-and-so gave me a number, blah, blah, blah. And, and you can try to work at that angle. You can also use Zillow. Zillow is a huge, tool for us videographers and photographers. You can look up all agents in your area, get their contact information, and email them, call them. If you're just starting out and you need samples and you haven't shot anything yet and you don't have a house to shoot, call an agent. Say, listen, I'm a videographer, just starting out. I would love to shoot one of your homes for free, no charge. I just want to get a sample for myself. And a lot of them will jump on that. You're offering them a free video. Who wouldn't jump on that? Take the time to go through the home before you set up your gear and start shooting so you can make sure the home is the way you want it. There's been many times where things will be left out, things that you want to hide. Maybe the blinds won't be open in the room that you want them open. Maybe things aren't, the blinds aren't even, little things like that will make your video better. So the worst part is going home, editing the video and realizing, damn, I wish I would have took a little extra time to go through the home and make sure it was right. One thing you definitely want to do though, guys, is you want to try to nail down your image in camera. I'm talking white balance, exposure, all of it. The closer you can get to perfect out of the camera, the better your footage is gonna look. That's why a lot of people sometimes have noise in their footage sometimes, because they're shooting S-Log3 or any log footage from any camera, and they're just exposing it super dark. You bring up log footage in post, it's not pretty, you know? It's when you expose it right and correctly with good color, you get amazing dynamic range and it looks that much better. Especially for real estate work, I feel it's really important. You know, maybe you'll have your interior and then you'll have big windows showing a pool outside or something outside that you want to show. Your log footage, yeah, you might not get it. You're not going to get it perfect like our eyes see it, but you're going to get a lot more detail than you would if you were just using a standard picture profile. So I would definitely try to get more into shooting log if you're not doing it already. Get more confident in it. And guys, if you have to, like I said, get the monitor. The monitor will save you. When you put the LUTs in there and you see what you're getting real time right out of it, it's such a game changer. Another thing, when you set up your camera, don't have it in auto ISO, auto exposure, things like that. You want to have it set so you're manually setting it. The last thing you want to have is going through into a different room and all of a sudden you see the camera changing ISO and white balance. It doesn't look professional. Guys, I hope you liked this video. Please like and subscribe so you can get notifications of future videos, and I'll see you in the next one.